You might remember that earlier this month, the Forward wrote a piece on Jordan Peterson called "Is Jordan Peterson Enabling Jew Hatred?" Well, the anti-Semitic colored paint didn't stick so well to the professor, forcing the outlet to at least change the piece's ridiculous photo tying Peterson to Hitler. But now progressives are trying the misogyny angle, with the New York Times publishing a piece called "Jordan Peterson, Custodian of the Patriarchy." The result is perhaps even more cringeworthy. Let's take a look. So whereas Forward writer Ari Feldman relied on left-wing activists and academics to smear Peterson, New York Times journalist Nellie Bowles didn't even bother trying to put her own opinions into the mouths of experts. She says, Mr. Peterson is staunchly against what he calls equality of outcomes, or efforts to equalize society. He usually calls them pathological or evil. What do you mean, or efforts to equalize society, Nellie? Do you see what she's done there? She's conflated equality of opportunity and equality of outcome, and suggested that Peterson is against equality as a whole, and not just the Marxist variety. Okay, so the second thing that really pissed me off about this article, Nellie describes a Skype call she witnesses Peterson having with a fan, writing, "For the Skype call, he wears a sharp blazer and button-down, but he sits shoeless and cross-legged. He knows where the frame cuts off." Oh really? A Harvard and University of Toronto psychology professor, one of, if not the most, famous public intellectuals of today, knows where the camera frame cuts off. Gee whiz, thanks for telling me that, Nellie. I never would have guessed. No, make no mistake, that little sentence there is intended to frame Peterson's professional above the belt and casual below the belt as the professor somehow misrepresenting himself to others, when, really, it's completely normal to dress for how much the camera shows. Sometimes I record these in my pajama bottoms. Alright, so a third thing that irked me about Nellie's piece. She says, when Mr. Peterson talks about good woman, the sort a man would want to marry, he often uses these words, conscientious and agreeable. So here, by saying good woman, she tries to spin the professor's use of Big Five personality traits as Peterson somehow making a moral judgment on woman. But why do you keep calling him Mr. Peterson? I know you might be mad, Nellie, because even after blowing around $300,000 on a 4-year Columbia journalism degree, you're still just seen as a fake news hack. But are you that intent on smearing Peterson that you can't even call him Doctor or just say Peterson? No, it's a snide little Mr. But really, Nellie's hit piece shouldn't be all too shocking for those familiar with her MSNBC work on Gamergate. She held 2 interviews on the ethics and anti-censorship video game consumer movement, and each time, she spoke only with progressives who oppose the movement. MSNBC did finally interview Christina Hoff Sommers on Gamergate, but lo and behold, it wasn't Nellie running that segment. So, the Forward has tried the anti-Semitism card. New York Times has tried the misogyny card. Which progressive outlet will attack Peterson next, and, more interestingly, which ism or phobia will they use? Let me know in the comments. For Campus Unmasked, I'm Rob Shimshock. If you like this video and support our mission, please make sure to comment and subscribe. If something happens on your campus and you'd like us to investigate, send us details using the form on campusunmasked.com.